Arena. Very familiar up top with Coffee, Briggs, Pleasance, and Newland. And Petty in that 9-hole. First pitch on the way. We are underway. It is up high to Danica Coffee. Looks to bunt and takes a strike.
Yeah, excited to see this LSU offense. A lot of familiar faces and names that you've seen for many, many years. Offense now that has the experience and the games played, the at-bats under their belt.
Yeah, when you look at this roster for LSU, they did lose veteran player Georgia Clark, who played first base and DP. The other big loss was on the pitching side with Ali Kilponen, but other than that, the other pieces are really still in place. Three balls and a strike on Coffee leading off the game. She's off to a .364 start. Has hit one home run already this year. Her career high is 2 homers in a season. Did that last year after starting all 59 games at third base and hit .392 to lead the team. Kinsey Norton's second start, 4th overall appearance. Season as head coach at LSU, and right now she is just 3 wins shy of 500 career as the LSU head coach. Does not include her time when she was the head coach at FIU. To third, that is played on the short hop. Throw goes to first, and Mallory Black, that is, able to gun down Coffee, and that's the way the game begins.
The center fielder, number 88, Sierra Briggs.
It really is wild to look at the lineup for LSU. Every single offensive person in the lineup is a senior except for one. Mackenzie Rudity is a junior, so even she's an upperclassman.
And the expectations were pretty high for LSU, at least as if you're looking at the SEC preseason poll. They were picked 3rd. Tennessee picked 1st, Georgia 2, LSU 3.
Georgia, by the way, still losing to Wisconsin next door. Wisconsin went up early 4-0. Georgia has been trying to get back into the game, but right now it's the middle of the 6th and they're down by a run.
That would be the first big shocker if that score holds here in Clearwater. Center fielder Sierra Briggs protecting 0-2. Well, LSU had some bus problems earlier today. Just trying to get here to the Eddie Seymour complex. They're probably fortunate that our first game on this field was over 3 hours long and ran long, pushing the regular start time of this game back about 35 minutes. They may not have been here on time for the 2 o'clock Eastern start, but they're able to get here.
They have the offenses of Kentucky and UNC to thank for that. Would we have 34 hits in our last game alone? 33?
Yeah, a lot.
Oh, I was wrong. It's 35.
35 hits. North Carolina fell to Kentucky 12-10 in our first game here on ACC Network from Clearwater.
I was undershooting that, and I actually thought I was overshooting it with my initial number, but 35.
To third once again, Mallory Black 2 for 2. We're on Coffee to begin the game, and now Sierra Briggs.
It always feels good as a defense when you can keep Coffee and Briggs off the base pass with their speed, and especially get to face Taylor Pleasance with nobody on. I mean, all she did was have 13 RBI last weekend.
Insane for the now grad student from Houston. The OPS, yeah, I know it's only 5 games. A couple of homers as well for Taylor Pleasance. 4 for 11. Right now, she has more RBIs than she does at bats. 13 RBIs, 11 at bats.
How long can that keep going?
It's going to be hard to maintain, but at least through this at bat. This is up high, 2 balls and a strike. Pleasant sends one out to left center field, and cutting across, Madison Dobbins makes the catch. And for junior Kinsey Norton, she set. Ella Edgman, the center fielder, leads off the Tech first inning. Look at the lineup for head coach Aileen Morales. Mallory Black. A couple of hits, RBI, stolen base. And they lost to Stanford, but 7 runs scored by Georgia Tech in that game. All 7 off the Stanford starter, Reagan Krause.
Yeah, and they had 13 hits in that game. So Georgia Tech is going to enter this game offensively, feeling good about themselves. Yes, they lost, but you can score 7 runs against Stanford and put 13 hits on the board. Your offense is going to be feeling good.
Edgman takes outside. It's been a program, for the most part, Amanda, for Aileen Morales that has been defined by its defense and pitching to a degree. The offense seems to be the 3rd key that needs to lock into place for them. Out to Carly Petty. Edgman grounds out.
Yeah, she said opening weekend last weekend, she was really excited about how their pitchers threw, and as a staff felt like they did a really good job complimenting each other, just overall played good defense and clearly putting things together offensively in last game against Stanford.
So Georgia Tech now 3-4 to begin the season after the loss earlier today here in Stanford. Well, for Coach Morales, this is season 7 as the head coach, but everybody else is new, including Kelsey Bennett, who just finished her playing career at Virginia Tech. We got Hunter Bunch in his first season as a hitting coach. Aaron Dixon, first season as pitching coach. You know, for Dixon, she's called it a dream job. Be at Georgia Tech. But you don't see that a whole lot, especially a head coach that's 7 years into a tenure at a particular school to have a basically completely new staff.
You don't. Lots of confidence that she has in these first-year head coaches. She loves this staff.
Now, part of that, you know, Marty McDaniel, who'd been at Tennessee all those years and then Georgia Tech 3 years, became a head coach to a school in Tennessee, I think Roane State. So there are reasons why, but again, the way things just kind of played out, she basically changed the whole staff.
And of course, adding that 3rd assistant has made a difference in our game too.
Madison Dobbins went 1 for 3 in the earlier game today with an RBI against Stanford. Check swing, strike 3. Takes the 3-2 for Raylene Chafin's first strikeout.
So Chafin's going to take about 10 miles an hour off of this pitch. It's like an off-speed curveball. Talked about her velocity and how she's added 2 to 3 miles an hour, 67, 68, but then that one, an off-speed curveball to just freeze Dobbins. Little check swing.
With 2 outs, the DP is Sarah Beth Allen. who came into this tournament in Clearwater, this invitational, having hit safely in the first 6 games of the season. Went 0 for 4 with 4 Ks in the loss earlier to Stanford, but still hitting .412 with a home run.
And she had a breakout season last year. And all those home runs, and only hit 1 home run the season before. So 13 last year. The season before, it only hit 1.
Those 13 home runs, 9th best in the ACC last year. So that led the team, also led Georgia Tech in RBIs with 35 a year ago. Besides DP, you'll also see her in the outfield, usually in right. Four-pitch walk. Sarah Beth Allen on for the first time today.
You know what I love about this tournament, other than the games being played, is how close the fans get to be to the game. I mean, you get to be right there on top of the dugout, right there behind home plate, right there down the lines. Like, it's just a more intimate feel here than what you feel at one of their home stadiums. You're right there. Like, it almost feels like you're at bat with the hitter.
Mallory Black, base hit, left field. He jumped right on the first pitch. Had a 2-hit game against Stanford. So a couple of 2-out base runners for Tech. You know, I think I need to follow your comments you just made with how things are different here in Clearwater. Yes, it's competitive, but the fans being right on top of the players, in some places, that can be a negative. I mean, there's, you know, in this day and age, there's a lot of negative talk. Here, the vibe is totally different.
Yeah.
Teams are happy to be here. Fan bases are happy to come here and be in Florida. They want their team to win, but it's not life or death at this situation right now. The fan base here is much more relaxed than you will see these fan bases when they're in conference play.
Yeah, it's February. So everybody's happy. Just lots of, I don't know, just big things that could still happen for your team. Nothing's gone really good or really bad yet, so we're pretty optimistic. There's Kayla Kowalik taking in a game.
The vibe in general here in Clearwater is laid back, which we like. Well, it's belted deep down the left field side, but fading foul.
Well, it's just been a mainstay to be here, and you know, if you get a ticket here, you're going to get to see the best of the best, some of your role models, some of the best players in the country up close and personal.
You said if you get your ticket, which fans, if you're watching at home and want to come next year, don't dally. Get them early, because it does sell out here every year.
Especially Saturday and Sunday are packed.
1-2 to Grace Connolly. She takes up and away.
By the way, going to the 7th inning, Wisconsin's still up on Georgia 4-3 next door.
And we can watch 2 games at one time sometimes, or at least get the feel for the second game.
I mean, that's just an average college softball weekend for me, trying to watch 2 games at one time, whether it's here or in my own living room or calling a game, and also have one on my iPad or postseason when we were together watching, you know. Well, it's the best multitasking.
You had a lot of different gadgets watching a lot of different games.
Got to be prepared.
Chafin trying to get out of this 2-out jam. Change drops low, full count. Two on, 2 outs. Scoreless here early in the first, and a 3-2 to Conley. Bases are loaded.
Great bats put together with 2 outs for Georgia Tech.
2 walks and a base hit have loaded him up. Emma Mangini comes up. But first, we're going to get a visit from Beth Torino. LSU, by the way, comes in 5-0. They beat Nichols on Thursday a week ago, which I think was the earliest you could play, right? I mean, that was their season opener. Actually, was a week ago today. Most other teams opened up on Friday. They hosted the LSU Invitational and beat Memphis twice and Pittsburgh twice, and have outscored their opponents 47-0 in those 5 games coming into today. So if you're a little slow on the uptake like me, you now have deduced that they have not allowed a run yet this year.
5 shutouts that they threw opening weekend. Played some good defense too. I saw Taylor Pleasance, of course, make some highlight reel type plays at shortstop. You just watch a game, you watch LSU play, and you hope the ball goes to her at shortstop so you get a chance to watch her defend.
Strike one to Emma Mangini. Chafin retired the first 2, but walked Sarah Beth Allen. Black singled to left. Connolly worked the walk. So Georgia Tech trying to do something none of the LSU opponents have done yet this year, and that's score. .319 last year for Mangini from Rock Springs, Georgia. Ball gets by. Allen coming home. She scores. Here comes the second run. Black scores. And on a pitch that gets away, LSU allows not their first, but first 2 runs of the season.
Uncharacteristic mistake back there by Hannah Carson. Remember, she transferred from Michigan, and that looked like a catchable ball. Allen being aggressive, goes hard, and then the backside runner, Black, would have been out, but Chafin unable to hold on to the ball and tag.
Wave and a miss, 1-2. Initially, it is a pass ball on Allen, or on Carson's. It allowed Allen to score. But there's going to be an error, I would assume it's as well on the first baseman Gutierrez that allowed the second run to come in. And there's strike 3 on the outside corner, but not before Georgia Tech gets a bit of a gift as they score 2 thanks to a pass ball and take the early lead in Clearwater. Unearned runs for Georgia Tech in the first. They lead 2-0 as LSU bats in the second. Allie Newland leading off for the Tigers. Good start for Newland this year. 4 for 8, so hitting 500, 4 RBIs. Coming off a season where she was all SEC first team.
See the defensive shift with Jen Saleo playing more up the middle of the field, and Black playing well off of the third baseline, but big shift up the middle of the field. And Saleo is, I mean, we have 2 just phenomenal senior shortstops, Taylor Pleasance and Jen Saleo, 2 completely, different heights that play the position big, both of them. Just hope a ball goes that way.
Kenzie Norton set down LSU in order in the first, but she issues a walk to Newland to begin the top of the second. Aileen Gutierrez looks at a strike. From Upland, California, which is close to Ontario, San Bernardino, far east side of LA.
And you notice in this lineup, there is left-handed hitter after left-handed hitter. There's only 1 right-handed hitter in the LSU lineup.
And that's Kelly Lynch, the DH.
That's her.
stroke on a line pass. Grace Connolly into right center, kicks up against the fence. Newland off to the races. Heading home, Gutierrez slides in head first at third. Gutierrez ropes a triple, the first of the season.
And Gutierrez had a hot start last weekend, opening weekend. Coach Torina said that she was one of the most impressive hitters this fall for LSU. Really, before this year, more so known for her defense at first base and her glove work. A triple here gets LSU on the board. That was a level, smooth swing.
So that cuts the deficit for LSU down to 2-1 in the tying run. Ray Gutierrez at third. With nobody out. Mackenzie Rudity.
I asked Coach Torina about all these left-handed hitters in her lineup last year. And she said, you know, it was just something that happened. It actually wasn't intentional. But she felt like people make a lot of decisions against them because of their left-handed hitters on defense.
Run down by Reese Hunter. Keeping Gutierrez at third. Well, we heard some noise at the field adjacent here on field 8 at Georgia game against Wisconsin. Looks like Armistead tripled for Georgia to lead off the inning. The tying run is at third with 1 out. Wisconsin trying to hang on in a game on SEC Network as Rudy walks, second walk of the inning handed out by Kinsey Norton.
And that Armistead triple, by the way, was on a 1-2 count. Now they have to face Sarah Mosley, one of the best hitters in the SEC.
And that ball actually was just fouled onto our field. Had we been wider, you would have seen that ball leave the right screen and go to the left. Aaron Dixon, the pitching coach, talking with Kinsey Norton here. So our eyes shift to the right side of the screen, and the drama going on next door.
We'll get to see Wisconsin in our next game. Wisconsin will play Kentucky for our third game of the day.
Georgia, in many ways, is kind of like this LSU team in that offensively, a lot of the same big hitters back.
Very true.
And that is going to tie the game for Georgia. And again, it's the bottom of the 7th, so if we're able to score again, they can win this thing in regulation. But so Wisconsin has seen their 1-run lead evaporate, unable to close it out. Wisconsin got out to a 4-0 lead in that game. All right, here's the lone right-handed batter in the lineup for LSU. It's Kelly Lynch. DH takes a strike. Kelly, first year for her at LSU after coming over from Washington, spent 4 years there.
And both pitchers in this game already have gotten themselves into trouble with walks. In fact, the only people that have scored have gotten on board via the walk.
In the dirt to Lynch. Rudity will take advantage and advance down to second. Still nobody out in the LSU second. Kelly Lynch, a two-way player. Her 4 years at Washington. In fact, last year went 9-3 in the circle with an ERA of about 2.43 in her 77 innings, and also hit 276. In play to third, Black holds the runners and throws out Lynch for the first out of the inning.
Now batting the catcher, number 20, Hannah Carson.
So Gutierrez and Rudity still in scoring position now for Hannah Carson, the catcher. Back off the glove of Norton, and a run's going to score, maybe two, but no. Run down by Connolly, who fires home, preventing Rudity from scoring, but Gutierrez touches the plate. And LSU has come back to tie this game at 2.
See a lot of balls put on the ground off the bats of LSU because of the drop ball that Norton is throwing. It's going to go down as a hit for Hannah Carson.
And an RBI for Carson. And now Carly Petty, the second baseman. From Moore, Oklahoma, just south of Oklahoma City. Played 3 seasons at Oklahoma State. Now in year 2 with LSU. Been a hot start for Petty. And limited at bats, 4 for 7 to begin the year. 4 RBIs. Infield is crept in, trying to prevent Rudity from scoring from third. She's on the move, and that ball is bunted foul. They were trying the safety squeeze there.
I like the idea behind it. LSU has really good team speed. Going for the little surprise. We hadn't seen a squeeze yet.
Holding it 2 balls, 2 strikes on Carly Petty. Who made a couple of Women's College World Series appearances with Oklahoma State. Pursuing her master's degree in kinesiology now at LSU. Hot shot, knocked down. Soleo picks it up, throws late to first. And LSU has taken the lead. Rudity scores. See how they score it, but Petty with a hot ground ball to short has made it 3-2. That is a hit.
It's a hard hit ball at Jen Soleo. Another one of those that's hit right at her. I would think that she would tell you that she should make that play.
Coffee swings and misses. I will not dispute your scoring skills, but I will say where she was positioned in didn't move, and that ball kind of came up to her just above the belt. So to me, it makes it not a routine play. Close. But I can understand what you are saying, since you always have that pitcher mentality. Anyway, you got to make plays behind me, girl. Let's go.
Well, and Soleo is just type of Gold Glove like shortstop that you're used to seeing make all the fancy hard plays too.
Yeah,
harder plays.
Very true. Back to the top of the order, Danica Coffey began the game with a ground out to Black at third base. Carson down at second. She has an RBI hit in this inning. Another one for Soleo. Makes that long sidearm toss to third. That flip gets the force out there for the second out.
Now batting the center fielder, Sierra.
You know, that's about as, think about that, where she's flipping that to her right side. That's about as long a sidearm flip, I think, as you can make distance-wise,
well,
accurately.
And because you don't have a lot of control over a toss like that.
She made the play because she's probably done that so many times before, and it becomes more of her routine. But that's not routine in my judgment. That throw is not. Briggs, slow roller. Soleo charges, fires, and there's that great defense from Georgia Tech's Jen Soleo. But LSU scores 3 and have taken Georgia Tech in the second after a 3-spot put up by LSU in the top half.
I want to see Raylan Chafin come out here and just go right at the hitters. Last inning, quick first 2 outs, and then walk, strikeout. Or I should say, walk, hit, walk. But a couple of walks mixed in there because of my bad handwriting that a BB looks like a 1, or a 1B looks like a BB.
Well, you obviously need to change your scoring designations now.
Change it to a W instead of BB.
2-0 pitch is a strike. If people score, whatever works for you, you use. There's a classic story. Phil Rizzuto, longtime Yankee player and broadcaster, had WW on the scorebook. And he was asked, WW, well, what is that? And he goes, wasn't watching.
There'd be some of those on mine, I'm not going to lie. Stat broadcast becomes my right-hand man.
Apparently they didn't have stat broadcast back in the days when Phil Rizzuto was calling Yankee games. So Georgia scored a run in the bottom of the 7th to tie Wisconsin at 4, and that game has gone to extra innings on SEC Network. Hit on the ground to Carly Petty, and they get Hunter to begin the bottom of the 2nd.
Now batting the right fielder, number
Paige
17,
Vukadinovic is up.
Vukadinovic.
Indiana native, sophomore Paige Vukadinovic. One ball, one strike. Well, the sun is out now in Clearwater. At least it is here at the Eddie Seymour Complex. Haven't had a lot of it today.
Yeah, just in time for it to set the Steel Prairie Field.
Right over Field 9. Good look here at Field 9 at the Eddie Seymour Complex. Hit inside from Chafin.
She's trying her best to work these east and west corners, work a little bit off the plate, and just not getting the call by the home plate umpire.
Scott Mayer is her plate umpire. Shortstop into the mid of Pleasance. Vukadinovic, who had a couple of hits in their earlier game today, grounds out. Well, it's Thursday. That means we have a women's basketball doubleheader for you here on ACC Network. It begins with number 6 North Carolina State battling number 16 Notre Dame. That's at 6 Eastern. And then number 12 Virginia Tech hosts Duke all tonight on ACC Network. Jen Soleo, left-handed hitting shortstop. Takes up high. The senior Soleo has basically been the starting shortstop at Georgia Tech since she stepped on campus. As a true freshman, started all 46 games that season. Floated out to right. Rudity waiting on it. 2 ground outs and a fly ball out. And Raylene Chafin sets an extra innings.
Wisconsin playing hard, showing some fight early in the season. I like it. Badgers.
The game's now going to the bottom of the 8th inning, so we'll see how Georgia does as we go to the top of the 3rd. This is Taylor Pleasance leading off.
She had that oblique injury that really limited her last season. We didn't get to see the full Taylor Pleasance, and she started out so hot. I think before that injury had occurred, gets hit by a pitch there, but before that injury had occurred, just was hitting the ball out of the ballpark like crazy, very similar to the start of this year. A lot of extra base hits, but then she had that injury, and it just really slowed her down, altered her game. She played through it, was able to adjust still to be in the everyday lineup, but wasn't quite herself. So hoping on behalf of her that she has a healthy senior year this last year.
Yeah, amen. She mentioned great start last year. Allie Newland takes outside. Remember 2 years ago, though, after she had been named to Team USA, she got off to a rough start that year. And I think all the amateur psychologists out there, including myself, felt like, you know, maybe the weight of that, trying to show like you belong on Team USA, was kind of weighing on her. So she dug her way out of that and had a really good year as usual. But yeah, you just hope Taylor Pleasance just gets a whole season healthy where you can see everything here at the end of her collegiate career.
And you can tell just with the way that she fields a ground ball, she's just different. Her hands are different, her footwork, she's really long and tall. Special player.
Houston native out of Adobe High School. Won a gold medal with Team USA in the 2022 World Games, by the way. Strike call on 3-0 after Newland had dropped the bat, was headed to first. Well, that one's ball 4, and Newland's on base with a walk for his 2nd time already.
I think with all of the free passes in this game, it just has a really weird flow to it to start out. We've already had a couple of free passes to start out this inning. There were 2 walks last inning.
A couple runners on base with nobody out. Ray Gutierrez tripled in a run and then scored an inning ago. Pleasance the lead runner, Newland at first. Nobody out for the Tigers in the top of the 3rd. Sophomore Studebaker facing redshirt senior Ray Gutierrez. Kicks off the chest protector, Reese Hunter, and each runner advances the 60 feet on a wild pitch. That is ball 4, and that loads the bases. You were saying something about free passes being a problem.
Yeah, they're still a problem here in the 3rd inning, unfortunately, with Studebaker walking the leadoff. She faces.
And the bases are loaded for Mackenzie Rudity.
That's a nice pitch. Love that changeup.
Rudity picked up one of those walks an inning ago. Of the 4 that have been handed out by Tech pitching.
Now we're going to the 9th inning next door. Wisconsin and Georgia headed to the 9th.
Two balls and a strike. Nice year. A year ago for Rudity in her sophomore campaign. All SEC second team, made the all defensive team. Kind of quietly led LSU in extra base hits last year with 20. Three balls and a strike, and nowhere to put Mackenzie Rudity. Line caught. Connolly trying to double off the runner at second. Newland not in time, but just getting it out. There's a win there for Georgia Tech. When that ball came off the bat, it looked like it was ticketed for right field.
Yeah, she read that ball so well off the bat. This ball was crushed. Last minute stretch, it seemed like it just kind of continued to tail away from her too, and had movement to it. First out.
Yeah, very loud first out from the LSU offense and Rudity, and now it's Kelly Lynch's turn, the DP. Kelly in the second inning, an inning ago, grounded out left side to third.
Just trying to find something that Studebaker can consistently throw for a strike. You see her get into these hitters counts where she needs to find a way to throw a strike to get back into it. Just trying to find a little bit of everything to see what she can throw consistently. Even that changeup, trying to throw it to get back into counts.
Ball 4 is in the dirt. Wasn't able to trot home. And score the 4th run of the game for LSU. Lynch gets an RBI on a bases loaded walk. Yeah, the starting pitcher, Kinsey Norton, been tagged for all 4 of these runs. In fact, Newland, who's now at third, still her responsibility. Trailing 2 runners belong to Studebaker, who pitches to Hannah Carson with strike 1. Torino went to our plate umpire and using a runner at first.
Number 9, Madeline Giglio.
Maddie Giglio running at first for Lynch. Studebaker in relief. You see our pitch count. She's throwing 14 pitches, 11 balls, 3 strikes. Proves on that. Yeah.
It seems like the pitch that she's thrown for the most strikes has been that changeup. It's what she's been leaning on to try to get back into counts and try to throw strikes.
Gets ahead of Carson, and that's it to second. Connolly out to second. To first, they turn a pair. Connolly to Soleo to Mangini, 4-6. They're going to play Kentucky. Game that's scheduled for 5 Eastern time at ESPN+. Top of the order is up for Georgia Tech in the home half of the third. 4-2 LSU. Georgia Tech got a couple of unearned runs in the first to take the lead. Well, the Tigers 3 in the second, 1 in the third, lead it now by 2. Edgman grounded a second or first time up. Ella Edgman with 3 consecutive 2-hit games to begin this season. And a home run on Sunday against Longwood. And had 3 hits earlier today against Stanford. Went 3 for 4. Native of Tennessee, from Dunlap, Tennessee. How to play left side. Georgia Tech with the loss earlier today, 3-4 to begin the season. This is Georgia Tech's first appearance in the Clearwater Invitational. Their first appearance, but for LSU, their third. They also were here in the inaugural one in 2019, 2022. Hit to right, drifting towards the line. Up to left field. And Allie Newland will make the catch for round number 2.
The designated player, Sarah Beth Allen.
That'll bring up Sarah Beth Allen.
Like the quick outs that Chafin's getting.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Who are you again?
Hi, it's me.
That's a little bit low to Sarah Beth Allen. Sarah Beth walked in the first and scored. Scored on a pass ball. Actually, 2 runs scored eventually on that play. Bringing the first 2 runs of the game. Elin Chafin has now set down 6 in a row.
She settled into this game after giving up, or after a few people reached with 2 outs in the first inning. Remember, 2 scored, and then she ended that inning with a strikeout. And since then, it's been 3 up, 3 down last inning, and 2 up, 2 down this inning, but now a 3-0 count.
Well, as soon as you insisted on praising her consistency, she issues that 4-pitch walk. Second time she's given a free pass to Sarah Beth Allen.
The third baseman, Mallory Black.
Mallory Black. A couple homers on the season. Chafin gets the call on that high outside edge.
And that looked like a different speed. We saw her use her off-speed curveball earlier in the game. That was at about 59. That one looked like a true change that she dropped down to 51. So maybe throwing 3 different speeds here today, Chafin is.
It's down the line and right. Runity into the corner, and that kicks fair. It's right up against the base of the fence, and Sarah Beth Allen had the wheels going, but she gets the stop sign at third from head coach Eileen Morales. It's a double from Mallory Black. And Georgia Tech's got something going with 2 outs.
Went with that outside pitch, a curveball that she just let travel deeper into her zone, and that just was another hit that we've seen today that didn't think it was going to go as deep as it did, and just kept traveling. SB Allen ends up at third base. Morales throws on the stop sign, and 2 runners in scoring position for Tech.
Going to get Sydney Berzon up in the LSU bullpen. Tying runs are in scoring position for Grace Connolly. Picked up one of those walks in the first inning. Slowly hit to third. Coffee scoops and throws and ends the inning. So Chafin got into some 2-out trouble, but he gets out of it on the slow ground ball. Tech's now stranded 3 when we come. Shoe comes up leading Tech by 2 with the 9, 1 and 2 hitters up. Carly Petty leads off.
And they are headed to the 10th inning next door on Field 8 with Wisconsin and Georgia 6-6.
Bunted by Petty. Picked up and no play for Studebaker. A bunt base hit. Carly Petty's now 2 for 2 after an RBI base hit her first time. Top of the order, Danica Coffey.
Coach Torino was talking about how hard it is to get Danica Coffey out. She's like, I can't get her out. I don't know how to get her out. I don't know what to throw her. She can hit a little bit of everything, but she is about as tough out as it comes in our sport.
So Coach Torino will obviously throw to her in their scrimmages and stuff, but she's just said, look, I've tried everything. And you're talking Beth Torino, who pitched at Florida, and knows what she's doing and handles all the pitching. I guess that's a good problem when you can't get one of your own kids out.
Yeah, it's a catch-22, isn't it? Because you want to win. You have that competitive side. You want to figure out a way. But at the end of the day, she's on your team, and she's your leadoff hitter, and you'll take it.
I don't want to demoralize my leadoff hitter by embarrassing her in the scrimmage. Coffey at .392 last year. I mean, you basically can book her. She's going to be around 400 every year. Nicely scooped by Hunter. Unable to get Petty. Was able to advance, but Reese Hunter did everything she could there just to even make that a close play on that.
You know, that was something that Coach Torino told us is an offensive focus for LSU this year. So we got a lot of hits last year, but we didn't get to second base enough. Not enough extra base hits or enough steals, ways to move our runners.
Studebaker just protecting herself, and their ankles came up with that and throws out. Danica Coffey.
The center fielder, Sierra Briggs.
As Amanda mentioned, they're in the 10th. Again, they start every inning in extra innings with a runner at second. So that's what you're seeing right now. Runner at second, and a chop to the right side is through. It looks like Wisconsin, are they going to take the lead again? No. But they got something going, first and third.
Yeah, they're going to play this long game and then turn right back around and have our last game of the day against Kentucky.
Yes.
So both teams are going to go into that last game against each other playing a long first game. Kentucky with their 3-hour game.
And I'm assuming this game that they're playing right now is going over 3 hours. Wisconsin. Petty's at second, 1 out. Tigers batting top of the 4th. Sierra Briggs has grounded out to the left side each time, 0 for 2.
And know, tomorrow the backfields will start having games on them too. So we only have 2 games right now, but at one point you could have 4 games being played here at this tournament. Kind of ease into it, just down here with field 8 and 9, and then we add a couple more fields and really hit it going.
And somehow you'll be multitasking, paying attention to all 4 games in addition to the one we're calling.
You're not supposed to tell our bosses that.
I thought I was impressing him by telling him that you could actually function, call our game, and watch 3 others. Good look at field 9 at the Eddie Seymour Complex. Just seeing a bit more sun here in the afternoon. Not a lot, enough. Temperature in the mid to upper 70s. Two balls, 2 strikes. Briggs SEC all second team for a 2nd straight year last year. Foul tip into the mitt of Hunter, and they get Briggs on a strikeout, and it seems like Studebaker's starting to find a little bit more than her changeup out there.
You're going to see some upspin here with her rise ball. That had some good late break to it as well. Just kind of floated up and continued to rise up and out of the zone and got Briggs to chase out of the strike zone.
2-out chance with a runner in scoring position for Taylor Pleasance. And she rips it into right field for a base hit. Petty racing for the plate will score easily. Taylor Pleasance, 14th RBI already this season. LSU's up 3.
Well, and Mark, that's why LSU is going to have a focus on getting that runner to second base with an extra base hit, with a steal, with sacrifice, whatever it is, to get that runner to second base for a hit like that to be able to score her with 2 outs. That's why they're going to have a focus of that this year.
Allie Newland, the left fielder, takes a strike. Let's dig a little deeper on that. And I think people are listening say, okay, they get a runner to first. Obviously, you want to advance them to second. But when you're able to do that, you change the other team defensively, and things just open up the field. Because too many times what Batrina's saying is that ball gets by, but will stay on the infield. We get somebody to first base, and the rally would just die right there. Too many times.
Yeah, and I do think that the goal, now that, you know, we hash it out a little bit more, is to get the runner to second base without giving up an out.
Right.
Right, extra base hit, a steal.
Will this stay in play? Yes, from Mallory Black to end the inning. But LSU does pick up a run on the Pleasance base hit.
Georgia Tech, a team that's going to be based around a heavily defensive-minded team, but how is their offense going to step up and score runs in different ways? We talked to Coach Morales, and she said, we're looking to hit gap-to-gap doubles. We're looking to drive the ball, trying to swing as hard as possible, and we want gap-to-gap doubles. And if they go out of the park, great. But the mentality is let's hit for doubles, let's use the middle of the field, and they're going to need to use that focus with their offense through the season.
Check swing is appealed down to third, and McGeady did hold up according to Tanya Cash down at third base. Wisconsin did not score in the top of the 10th. So Georgia with a run can win it. It's 6-6 right now. Over on field 8. So improving that offense. Job 1 for Georgia Tech. As you mentioned, their defense has been really good for a number of years. Down the left field side in foul ground. Reaching, but unable to get there is Newland. Still having fun, though. Taylor Pleasance. So Georgia Tech has committed in the last 3 seasons a total of 104 errors coming into this year. It's 104 errors in a 3-season span, 5th best in the nation. So they've had a really good defense for a while.
Great stat. Bring on a big-time hitter like Kelsey Bennett, who was on their coaching staff. First season that she's going to be a coach, period. Just got done at Virginia Tech and is now coaching with Coach Morales. And Coach Morales said, I've known Kelsey Bennett since she was 10 years old. They go way back.
A little bit inside. Ball for Tubingini. Well, if Kelsey Bennett can teach offense like she hit it at Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech's going to be doing fine.
Agree.
Because Kelsey Bennett could hit some bombs.
And she started every game of her college career at Virginia Tech. Played professionally this summer.
Who's running for Georgia Tech at first base?
They're gonna run.
2, Brianna Condon.
Brianna Condon. Mangini. Catcher Reese Hunter takes a strike. Reese 0 for 1 with a ground out to second base back in the second inning. Two-hit game for Reese Hunter in their first game today against Stanford. Also a couple RBIs. Hitting a couple of home runs. Twisting back and out of play. Runner on base with nobody out in the Georgia Tech fourth. Oh, the Jackets trailing by 3. What's going on field 8? Georgia's got the bases loaded, 1 out. And a run wins the game in the bottom of the 10th for the Bulldogs.
Caught a glimpse of Coach Rachel Lawson, the Kentucky head coach, back behind the plate, scouting Wisconsin and getting a double dip and scout Georgia too at the same time.
Grounded to third, throw goes to second base and to first, a pair. Coffee, Petty to Gutierrez, 5-4-3 around the horn.
You know, that felt like a bit of a slow developing play out on defense, but Danica Coffey trusted her instincts to know that she could get the force out at second, and Carly Petty with a quick turn to get it to first.
Each team has now turned, grounded into double play in this game. Looks like the freshman Digby is up for Georgia. Here's a play to short. Pleasance throws out Vukadonovic to end the inning. Don't forget that Georgia-Wisconsin game's on SEC. After 4 here on ACC Network, Tigers by 3.
Moves the ball around the zone. True vet.
Gets ahead quickly, 0-2. Ray Gutierrez leading off LSU, who scored 5 unanswered runs in this game. Good start for Gutierrez with an RBI triple in the second and a walk in the third. Element misses outside, and it is a full count. Gutierrez leading off the top of the 5th. Left field hit pretty well, but twisting around. Dobbins Got spun around on the warning track, and that lands. And will turn into 2 bases for Gutierrez.
The right fielder, Mackenzie for duty.
We welcome those of you watching on ESPNU. From Field 9 to the Eddie Seymour Complex, along with Amanda Scarborough. I'm Mark Neely. SEC ACC matchup. LSU leading Georgia Tech 5-2, top of the 5th. Georgia has just beaten Wisconsin in extra innings. Stanford Florida State game coming up in a little bit on ESPNU. We're glad to have you along with us. As Tech scored 2 in the first unearned, and it's been all LSU since then.
LSU has done a good job of taking the free passes that have been given to them and capitalizing on the moments that they've had runners on. They've gotten the innings that they've had runners on base. They've scored. We'll see if top of the 5th can replicate the same.
Gutierrez was credited with a double to begin the inning. Tarina, head coach of the Tigers, her team coming in at 5-0 on the year. And that ball's blasted to left, spinning around again and gone. No chance for Dobbins in left. As Rudity homers to left field, 2-run shot, and LSU has made it a 7-2 game in Clearwater.
Raylene Gutierrez was on second base because she had just hit a double. She was the hitter before Rudity, and they went basically to the exact same spot on the field, a high fly ball that just kept traveling, and Gutierrez didn't get out, but Rudity just kept going and going and going over the head of Dobbins. 2-run home run for Rudity.
Her first of the year after hitting 6 a season ago in her sophomore campaign. The LSU offense has now scored in every inning except the first when they went down in order. Kelly Lynch gets jammed and fouls it back this way.
He had a good barehanded catch back here behind home plate. Everybody loved it. Gave her a little cheer. See the Georgia players leaving the field back behind us and parents giving them a hug. You can tell little relief on their faces and some smiles winning that 10-inning game against Wisconsin. Georgia feeling good about come from behind win.
Yeah, they fell behind 4-0 in that game to Wisconsin. Cut it to 4-3 going to the bottom of the 7th. Scored to tie it. Then it went into the extra inning rules from that point forward, where each team started with a runner at second to begin the next inning. And they traded runs for a while, and then Georgia was able to keep Wisconsin off the board, and that ball's going to run in and hit Lynch. Around Stanford, Florida State is coming up from here in Clearwater right at about 25 minutes.
Yeah, a lot of big expectations for that Georgia team. They'll have a tough schedule here. Of course, everybody does, but they just played Wisconsin. They'll also play Oklahoma State tomorrow morning, UCLA, Florida State, and then Minnesota. Be a good test for them. Very experienced veteran team, similar to LSU.
Carson drops one into right center field. Lynch will stop at second base as it's fired in by the right fielder, Vukadinovic. Second hit for Hannah Carson. Still nobody out in the LSU 5th inning.
Baseman, Carly Petty.
Bottom of the order in Petty, who's 2 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored. Tarina wants to run for her catcher Carson, I believe, at first base. I think that was her initial instinct, but not going to do it. All right, okay, there they go.
And running at first base for LSU, number 2, Maddox McKee.
So freshman Maddox McKee is going to be the runner at first for Hannah Carson.
Which LSU has a really strong freshman class that joined their team. Just hard to find a playing spot when you have basically everybody who's starting a senior who's been there for 2 or 3 years. It's being their 4th year.
So they return 18 from last year's squad, and as you mentioned, 6 true freshmen added to the roster this year. That's grounded to first. Mangini takes the out there, 3 unassisted. It advances Lynch and Maddox McKee, that is.
The third baseman, Danica Coffey.
And it turns the lineup over. A 2 in scoring position for Danica Coffey.
They're up by 5 right now. Top of your lineup coming up 2 on. You want to push across 3 runs right here, knowing that you could end this game with 3 outs if you do so. 5-run lead, you want to make that 8 and then be 3 outs away from winning and a run rule.
Fouled by Coffey. Two on, 1 out. In tight on the infield. Nelliman misses away. 5th-year player Blake Nelliman. In the circle now for Georgia Tech. The 3rd pitcher of the game. Gets the call on the outside corner that time. Nelliman 11 wins last year, 15 wins in 2022. A dozen in her sophomore year, won 9 as a freshman. So she has won a lot of games for Georgia Tech through the years. Had a good freshman campaign back in 2020, which obviously was abbreviated because of the pandemic. But 2 years ago had an ERA about 2.5, 2.51. I think that's been her best full season. Stroked to left center, stationed right in the right spot, Ella Edgman. ACC Network, as well as the ESPN app.
I think Coach Torino was surprised to see Kelly Lynch not tag on that fly ball to center field. Could have been a sacrifice fly, an RBI for Danica Coffey, another run on the board. But Lynch opted not to go.
Ball was struck pretty hard on a line to center field. You think Lynch should have gone with those 2 outs and take a chance?
Yeah, I think it was a pretty deep fly ball. It wasn't very shallow. I think she maybe would have had to go in there sliding, but I don't think it would have been close.
Ball and 2 strikes on Briggs. Nelliman's trying to get through this inning with the 2 runs across, which came after Gutierrez led off the inning with a double. Ruderty homered to left field. Briggs trying to keep the LSU 5th alive.
They'd love to get Taylor Pleasance up again in this inning.
Ooh, wouldn't they?
On deck right now. I see her come up with the bases loaded. And so if you're Sierra Briggs, you know you're going to get a good pitch to hit right here. Or not. Or dodge one.
You anticipate you should, yes.
That pitch location was definitely not intentional to put Briggs on first to get to Taylor Pleasance.
So here is Pleasance, who singled to right, driving in a run last time up. 1 for 2. Has been hit by a pitch and scored once. Has 14 RBIs already. This is just game 6 for LSU.
It's interesting looking at her spray chart from last year versus the year before that. Remember, she had that oblique injury last year, but more toward her pull side is where her home runs came from, and more just overall toward the pull side of the field. So the right side of the field for her in 2022, much more spread out evenly all across the field. Good balance of power.
Pitching coach Aaron Dixon out. Is part of this discussion, yeah, bases are loaded, but a mistake to Taylor Pleasance could be a 4-run mistake, whereas if you walk her, that's just a 1-run issue.
Yeah, I think it's a good reminder for, hey, we are behind 2-0, and we'd like to get back into the count, but still, we have to be very careful here. And also, what do you want to throw to get back into this count that you feel like you could pitch with command to do just that? Not miss too much over the plate, but we hit a spot that can get us back into the count.
This next pitch is going to tell us a lot.
Yes.
Bases loaded for Taylor Pleasance. Ball ran in, and Pleasance kind of like, eh. I love that reaction.
I think she was expecting something out, because that's the side that Nelliman has been relying on, low and away to her.
Up the middle, base hit. It'll score. 2. Throws going to third base. Pleasance has 3 RBIs, and as that ball got away, not by much. Briggs went all the way to third, and Pleasance down to second. 2-run single for Pleasance.
This pitch is back on that outside corner that you could tell that was the side of the plate that Pleasance was looking for. Hit right back up the middle of the field, using the middle of the field, and now LSU up by 7 runs.
She's pretty locked in to start this season.
She is.
She is squaring some balls up. That's fouled back by Allie Newland. So now it's a 7-run lead here in the top of the 5th. LSU has 2 more in scoring position for Newland, who is the 9th batter to come up in this inning.
Just a side note about LSU, I really like their helmets this year. They're different. And I like specifically about them how they have their last name in cursive down at the back of the bottom of the helmet. Never seen that.
So the number on the helmet, I think, is cool. Numbers, because there's one on, you know, on each side. There you go.
There you go.
That's what you're talking about. That is pretty sweet.
I think it's a good little touch down there. You know, it's not too much. It just is a nice touch.
Blake Nelliman trying to finish this top of the 5th. Flips it high. It's been a 4-run inning for LSU. That's out to left center field and caught by Dobbins. So they do take Georgia Tech. And Soleo is flagged to right, looking to bunt. It's ball 1. Soleo missed a game Sunday. She was out with a brief illness. On top of that, when we were talking with head coach Aileen Morales, something I didn't know, maybe you did, that Soleo basically played hurt a lot of the year last season, which I know a number of players do.
despite that, only committed 3 errors last year.
Chafin ready with a 3-0. Jen Soleo, I mentioned that she missed a game Sunday, which is a big deal because she had started every game at shortstop the last 3 years prior to that.
I bet it just killed her.
Three and 2. She obviously was really, really sick. Otherwise, she would have played, you know.
Such a cool thing that very few are able to say that they didn't miss one game.
It started every game at the same position.
Yep.
Left field. Newland came in initially, but able to retrace her steps and get back. Make the catch. We are about 10 minutes away. For those of you watching on ESPNU, we're sending you to the field adjacent to ours here in Clearwater for the Stanford Florida State game. It's going to be a terrific matchup.
I would assume that Nigel Kennedy is going to pitch that one. She didn't pitch in the earlier game that Stanford played, so likely to see her. She is starting, actually. Getting word in my headset right now. Nigel Kennedy starting against Allison Royalty for Florida State.
So stick around, folks, on ESPNU. Nigel Kennedy is must-watch TV, but hey, those of you watching on ACC Network, stick around here for the conclusion of LSU Georgia Tech. Or you can do as Amanda does, and that's use 2 screens and watch both games.
That's right. It's the only way to do it.
Top of the order, Edgman flied out and grounded out. Big deep breath for Raylan Chafin. Junior from Bossier City, Louisiana.
We talked about keep the season for LSU being who's going to step up behind Sydney Berzon. Likely she'll be the quote-unquote #1. It's going to be Raylan Chafin. Is it going to be the transfer from Washington, Kelly Lynch? Is Emily Casanova to try to get in the mix?
Plate umpire Scott Mears says that was a foul tip. So not ball 4, and it's a full count. I think Eileen Morales is wanting Scott Mears, the plate umpire, to ask for help on that. I did not hear foul tip, and I mean hear the ball hit the bat. Usually you do. I'm not near as close to the plate, though, as the plate umpires. Though we do have microphones all over the place.
There's no secrets out there from us.
No, there are not. So just keep that in mind, America. Edgman battling Chafin. 1 out, bases empty in the 5th. Ella Edgman, junior from Tennessee. Waiting on another 3-2 pitch. Down the left field side. Whoa, what a running catch. Allie Newland took extra bases away from Ella Edgman on a ball that was tailing towards the foul line.
This LSU defense can be so good. Good job by Allie Newland. For off of a left-handed bat, that ball is just going to continue to trail down the left field line away from Newland, and she stuck with it. Last-minute reach. Great play by Allie Newland. perfect stretch at the perfect time.
Yeah, she needed that stretch at the end, didn't she? That ball's going to the corner.
So there was a fun stat, too, that it was D1 softball that I was reading, but only Clemson's Reedy Davenport and Aaliyah Logaleo, so it's talking about the left side of the infield, and Florida's Charlotte Eccles and Skylar Wallace last year, and then OSU's left side would even compete with LSU's defensive left side. I'll tell you about it later. Oh, I thought she was going to catch it. But just talking about defensive runs saved. So the strongest left sides last year in the infield were Clemson, Florida, Oklahoma State, and Georgia, and then also LSU. And so you add Allie Newland to the left side. You extend that left side like that. Makes it even tougher left side beyond the infield.
Off speed. Strikes her out to win the inning. Well, that defense coming through again for the Tigers.
On opening weekend, right? Got to be able to keep that consistently throughout the season. Michaela Beaver, a transfer for them. Pitched really well. Also have a freshman arm that did well. But good energy in that Alabama team. They were playing with a lot of grit, a lot of heart. Kayla Bro was added to their coaching staff, and you can tell already making a difference.
We wish our former colleague well back in Tuscaloosa.
And Oklahoma had some tight games in Puerto Vallarta. They played Duke the opening game, and Cassidy Curd pitched well against them and ended up winning that game 3-0. And then Washington gave them a run for their money. Questionable call at the plate would have been the go-ahead run, potential winning run for Washington that got called out instead of safe, even though she was safe. Little drama there last weekend, Mark.
Very much so. Left-handed throwing freshman Michaela Caulfield is coming to the game in the circle for Georgia Tech, facing Gutierrez to lead off. For those of you watching on ACC Network, just stick around. We'll have the conclusion of this game, LSU Georgia Tech, in just a few moments. Those of you watching on ESPNU, we're going to send you to the field adjacent to us for the Florida State Stanford game. LSU leading here 9-2, top of the 6th. So for those of you watching on ESPNU, we're going to send you to Field 8 here in Clearwater for the Florida State Stanford game with Beth Mowens, Jessica Mendoza, and Michelle Smith. Enjoy. Full count. Getting this 6th inning. Gutierrez looked like she went around and did. And the freshman Caulfield gets a strikeout. First time they've retired Ray Gutierrez today. Mackenzie Ruderty hit a 2-run home run last time up. Look at today's Impact Players, brought to you by Visit St. Pete Clearwater. It's been quite a trio at 3, 5, and 6 holes. That's out to shortstop behind the bag, Soleo, 2 outs.
Now, LSU's done only has struck out twice in this game. He's done a good job of putting the ball in play, a little pop, and taking advantage too when runners have been on base. Seven of their 9 hits have been with runners on.
2 runs for Georgia Tech in the first, both unearned on a pass ball and an error on the same play. So LSU, pitching-wise, had come into this Clearwater Invitational without allowing a run through the first 5 games, and they've still technically not allowed an earned run, but have given up their first 2 runs of the season here to Tech.
So after this game, they'll play tomorrow, Northwestern and Oklahoma State, and then Saturday, Washington and Minnesota. Looking forward to that Washington game with them.
What's so, I know there's a lot of things you could pick out that's intriguing about that matchup, but what most?
Both teams have speed, and interested to see if Washington throws Ruby Malin against LSU's offense. You don't know in a tournament who's going to get the exact start. Kind of like you could start to plan it out in a conference series, but I'm pulling for that Ruby Malin gets that start against LSU.
Yeah, Ruby Malin, obviously tremendous freshman year. Her sophomore year is just going to be incredible this year, I bet.
She pitched so well against Oklahoma, too. Gave Washington that chance to win in Puerto Vallarta against them.
2-out walk to Kelly Lynch.
The catcher, Hannah Carson.
Here's Hannah Carson. Couple of singles. Hannah Carson, 2 for 3. Knocked in a run in the second. Upstairs from Kayla Caulfield in her first inning of work in the circle for Georgia Tech. Hannah Carson had a 4-year career at Michigan. Came to LSU last year in a very unfortunate situation where she tears her ACL 2 games into the season last year.
It's a tricky, strike call back behind the plate because it's a little delayed, so then everybody thinks it's a ball or a walk, and so there's a slight pause.
So you want your plate umpire to give you a quick, firm call.
Hey, it's up to them. I'm not going to tell them how to do their job. But I have noticed that there have been a couple of times where the slight delay has brought the batter back.
Full count, 2 outs. All 4 back-to-back walks. I have seen umpires through the years. One was Tim McClellan, who's retired now, Big League Baseball, who gave a very delayed strike call, but always gave a strong verbal initially, and then would do the
probably help out things.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech has just gotten into trouble with their free passes. To my quick count right there, I see 10 free passes. Yeah. That includes hit by pitch and walks, and I would say, my usual thing with that is maybe, it's a tight zone or just missed some calls. But to me, they haven't even really been, close, questionable calls that have led to those walks. Just a lack of command, being able to find the strike zone. Aaron Dixon, their pitching coach, first-year coach, she'll get him straight now. She's a great pitching coach.
Coming from North Carolina, Wilmington the last couple of years. Well, the run at second base is important. So Maya Townsend is going to run for Lynch at second base. And the reason that's important, that would be the run that gives them an 8-run lead, which if they're able to get it, would force Georgia Tech to score in the bottom of the inning to extend the game. 2 on 2 outs for Carly Petty. And that's to left field. It's a base hit. Here she comes. Here comes the throw to the plate. A good one will get her. Just up the line. And the speed of Townsend gets home and she scores and indeed gives LSU that 8-run lead.
LSU really does have speed on their roster all throughout. They bring rabbit after rabbit out of the dugout to become a pinch runner. And Townsend gets a good jump. Of course, there's 2 outs, so she doesn't have to wait to see if that ball is going to get caught in the air. She can go as soon as it's put into play and scores easily from second base with those wheels.
And it gets LSU back to the top of the order, and Danica Coffey hit the ball hard last time up, but lined out to center and is 0 for 4 today.
Like an insurance runner too if you're LSU in this situation.
Looking ahead to the bottom of the inning, Tech has the 3, 4, and 5 part of the order up, which has been the best, most damaging part of their batting order tonight. Been 6 plate appearances by those 3 players, and they've reached base 5 of the 6 times. With either 3 walks and a couple of hits. Center field, straightaway center, Ella Edgman in front of the track to win the inning. Tigers had one, though. It's an important one. Tech will have to score the bottom half of the inning to extend it. It's 10-2 Tigers. Day 1 of 4. This Clearwater Invitational, presented by Shriners Children's. Georgia Tech needs a run to extend this game. Sarah Beth Allen leading off, 3, 4, and 5 hitters that have been the most productive part of the order for Tech. Sarah Beth has walked twice and scored a run. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ray Chafin, who threw a 7-inning, 3-hit shutout in her first start of the year, has allowed 2 unearned runs in the first. Looking for her second complete game if she can keep Georgia Tech off the board here in the 6th. Her 87th pitch of this game is coming. And this one to the DP, Sarah Beth Allen. That low outside edge called 2-2.
She did. It's a good spot. Liking that spot by Chafin, but probably not every time you're going to get that call, but you're going to want that call every time.
Fouled back. You're going to want that call. You're going to need that call. That actually was just me doing Jack Nicholson, and you want me on that wall. You want that call.
You just slide it in there.
Yeah. A few good men. Let's see about the 2-2 pitch. Jammed her, rolled to third, gobbled up by Coffey, 1 out. Pitch clocks for the Shriners Children's Clearwater Invitational are provided by Whistle Stop. It's going to reset to 20 here in just a moment. You watch. There we go. So now the pitcher and the hitter have until the 10-second mark to be set and ready to pitch. To receive the pitch, it's Mallory Black, who's 2 for 2. Single, a double, and she has scored 1 of the 2 runs for Tech.
Yeah, I'm into that pitch clock. Not going to see it in 100% of the games yet, but I'm a big fan.
Me as well, and I think most fans are. After we saw what the clock did for Major League Baseball last year and how much it sped up games, I don't see how you can not use it.
Either. People, not everybody on Twitter though loves it. I'm not gonna lie. There's been
Imagine that. Not everybody on Twitter loves it. That ball's driven deep left center field, and it's going to extend the game with a Mallory Black home run.
That's a home run for Georgia Tech, Mallory Black.
It's her third of the season, and this game will go 7 innings at least. It's 10-3.
This is a pitch that is left out over the middle of the plate, but Black does a good job. Just get her barrel up to that pitch. That is going to extend the strike zone a bit. She chases out of the typical strike zone and still is able to barrel that up and get herself a home run.
So she's been up 3 times, and she's just a triple shy of the cycle. Single, double homer or 3 at bats.
At the plate, the pinch hitter, number 20, Tiffany Dominique.
Georgia Tech sends up a pinch hitter. Tiffany Dominique. South Carolina native takes a strike, 1-1. Batting at Grace Connolly's spot. Dominique check swing and holds up. Now Beth Torina popped out of the dugout and asked the plate umpire, ask for help from your first base umpire, and Shane Jackson gave it and said, yeah, she went.
Well, and it was such a good pitch location, too.
So it's actually a 1-2 count because of the appeal. And now it's 2-2.
It's become such important practice for somebody like Raylan Chafin to be able to finish out this game. And that's why you kind of went to the bottom of the 6th inning knowing that you were 3 outs away from winning, seeing what she was going to do with it. You know, everybody knows that you're 3 outs away, and Georgia Tech is going to do everything they can to extend the game. Another hard hit there down the line. It's going to be extra bases.
Go ahead, finish the call. You started. Let's keep going.
Then I don't know what to say after that, the end.
So a pinch hit double for Tiffany Dominique.
Turns on this pitch and barely keeps it fair, sneaks it past Danica Coffey, and it gets down there in the left field area. Love to see that pinch hit quality AB and pinch hit extra bases.
By the way, the solo home run for Black is the first earned run allowed by LSU this year.
Trying to get those last 3 outs, whether it's a run rule or it's in the 7th inning or extra innings, whatever it is truly one of the hardest things to do in our sport. It's not easy, and you don't see, you know, a ton of complete games either anymore. So that in itself is tricky because you're facing the lineup for a 3rd time. They don't want to go down easy. They want the game to continue on. They're going to give you their best at bats. You have to make your best pitches despite them already having faced you 2 times.
Abby Hughes getting the pinch hit appearance here. Mangini, it takes up high.
I do want to say, just in case we don't see her in the 7th inning, Raylan Chafin has a really cute glove. And I know that our friend Danielle Laurie would appreciate this glove too, with a little bit of pink all throughout there. Very cute.
Borderline pitch goes Chafin's way. And they get the pinch hitter Hughes looking for the 2nd
Now
out.
batting the catcher, Reese Hunter.
Off-speed pitch, perfect location. Almost all of her strikeouts have been changing speeds.
Ball 1 low to Reese Hunter. Grounded out a couple of times. 2-homer game for Reese Hunter, though, in the earlier game today. Their 15-7 loss to Stanford. Their second and third home runs of the season. Well blocked by Hannah Carson. Keeps dominating at second base. Thursday afternoon from day one in Clearwater. Ball speed is low. A 5-pitch walk for Reese Hunter. After getting the leadoff batter, Sarah Beth Allen, 3 of the next 4 have reached. Georgia Tech's going to run for their catcher. Grace Hillman will take first for Hunter.
Number 6, Gracie Hillman. And now batting number 19, Grayson Tucker.
Another pinch hitter comes off the bench for Eileen Morales. Grayson Tucker, true freshman. Batting for Vukadinovic. Check swing, strike. That's towards left center field. One bounce to the base of the fence. Was going to bring in 2, but then stumbling midway between the bag. In a rundown now is Hillman, and she's tagged out. A tough break for Georgia Tech. They were going to get 2 and extend the inning, but instead
hitter bats that are in the air long enough for her to catch and track down, but off of a left-handed hitter's bat, it's just going to continue to trail away from her toward the line, and she's misplayed. It's going to be her 3rd misplayed ball.
Jumping on the first pitch, Pleasant skies one to left center field, and this one called by the center fielder. Edgman makes the catch, tagging and scoring is Briggs. And it's 11-4. Pleasant's her 4th RBI of the game comes on a sac fly.
Make that now 17 RBI in the year for Taylor Pleasance, and they've only played, this is only their 6th game.
So you're telling me she's off to a pretty good start.
Pretty good start 2 weekends in.
Newland jumps on the first pitch, and it's grounded to short. Soleo rolls her out.
The first baseman,
2 down for Gutierrez. Ball 1 down and in, kicks away.
We'll see what kind of energy that Kentucky and Wisconsin have left in this last game after Kentucky's 3-hour game, and then Wisconsin had a 3-hour game.
They both had a little time to sit around and think about it and get tight.
Yeah, that'll be on ESPN Plus.
Left field again, and up and out. Ray Gutierrez, 3rd hit of the game. Third home run of the season.
She is just off to such a hot start in this 2024 season. And these left-handed hitters for LSU are really using the left side of the field. A lot of power toward and over the left field wall. Raylene Gutierrez, good day for her at the plate.
Two down. Kinsey Rudity had a big 2-run home run back in the 5th. For LSU. Ball's belted down the right field side, but Hook's foul. Just a single shy of the cycle.
This is the kind of offensive day that we've had here in Clearwater, where people are hitting multiple home runs in one game. We have two players that are just one type of hit short of the cycle.
And it's the easy one that's left, which most likely is not going to get another chance. But she tripled in the 2nd, doubled in the 5th. Also, by the way, walked in the 3rd. So she's been on base 4 times. And now the solo homer for Gutierrez here in the 7th.
Well, and Mallory Black just needs a triple.
Correct. And she might get a shot for that. They get a couple of base runners in the bottom of the inning. Foul tipped into the mitt. That's a strikeout to end the inning, but LSU adds on. Tack it on 2. They have scored at every inning except the 1st. Last chance for 12 times and are 3 outs away from improving to 6-0 on the season. Sticking with Chafin to try to close this one out. Have the complete game for Raylene. 9-1 and 2 hitters. Jen Soleo is flat out twice, leading off.
This LSU team is going to be tough all year, and also having lofty goals. I mean, you think about it, Mark, the past 2 seasons in 23 and 22, they fell short losing in regionals. And if you're at LSU, you have World Series goals, you have making it to Supers goals, hosting Supers goals. So for them to lose regionals the past couple of years, you know that they have even loftier goals with this senior class, with falling short the past couple of years, all of that big motivation at the end of the year.
Yeah, 2 years ago, for the first time in school history, we're swept out of the Tempe Regional in 2022. Went there, lost twice, and then last year hosting, and eventually got knocked out by Louisiana. The Tigers had made the Supers the previous 8 years in a row prior to those last 2 years. Getting knocked out in the regionals. That's fouled out of play, which makes sense because if you get knocked out in the regionals, you're not going to Supers. But still, that shows you the high bar that Beth Torina has set in Baton Rouge. Guides the 3-2 pitch out to right center, base hit. So Soleo comes through with a base hit. Let's check in what's going on next door. And Flaherty, nice diving play to get the out at first base. It's Florida State and Stanford going on right now at ESPNU. And then Nyjah Kennedy fielding her position, makes the catch. Doubles up, looked like Wade Kaser at second base.
And you mentioned it. I'm interested to see how Kennedy does without having Vaughter on staff. And Coach Allister, the head coach of Minnesota, has a lot of confidence in Reagan Krause to be that #2 behind Kennedy. But Kennedy and Vaughter just made such a good tandem last year. And Vaughter now, of course, at South Carolina, transferred out.
Coach Morales, like a word with Ella Edgman. And Georgia Tech lost earlier today to Stanford, 15-7. Ready now for the 1-1 to Edgman. It's a foul ball right off the knob of the bat.
Looking at Raylan Chafin's velocity, she started the game at about 67, and here we are in the 7th inning, 117 pitches in, and she's still throwing with good velocity. The same speeds that she was hitting in the first, she's hitting here, which is a great sign.
Up high, 2-2. Waited on it, flies out to left center field where Ellie Newland hauls it in for the first out of the bottom of the 7th. This is the first game in Clearwater for LSU. What's ahead for them tomorrow noon Eastern on SEC Network? They take on Northwestern. Also Saturday they play twice. Once again SEC Network against the Cowgirls. And then they get #6 Washington on ESPN Plus and finish up with Minnesota on Sunday morning on SEC Network. All from here in Clearwater. Jaden Haley batting here, fouls it off.
And that Oklahoma State team is about opposite of LSU in terms of returners from last year, seniors, experience, people playing the same defensive position. Different looking Oklahoma State team this year for sure. Had a great opening weekend in California, won all their games.
Jaden Gailey batting in the 2-hole here. Coming off the bench. Sophomore from Livonia, Georgia. It's over 120 pitches, 122 now. Trying to finish out the game. Raylan Chafin. Speed strike evens it up.
That changeup has been so effective, especially late in this game. She's using it more.
Eileen Morales, head coach of Georgia Tech's been able to get a lot of bats off the bench today, giving them some experience here in Clearwater. Including Jaden Gailey here. Lester in and gets the strikeout. And Georgia Tech down to their final out. This has been game 2 of the day here on Thursday. Georgia Tech lost Stanford earlier. After this game is finished, they'll have 3 left. They have Minnesota tomorrow, 5 Eastern on ESPN Plus. Then they get Northwestern 9 a.m. Eastern time on Saturday. And they finished for Tennessee. Sarah Beth Allen, the DP, has reached twice with walks. Scored one of their 2 runs. Another pitch from Ray Chafin. Check down to first base. A win for LSU. They will improve to 6-0. Loss for Tech will drop them to 3-5. Pulled foul.
Really, they've challenged themselves first weekend out and this weekend. Played that good Alabama team that we were talking about on opening weekend.
We played them a couple times. Played Villanova twice. Right now down to their final strike. That ball's fair, and it bounces past Coffey into foul ground and left. There's an extra base hit for Sarah Beth Allen. That scoots Soleil over to third, and second and third with 2 outs in the 7th.
Another ball off the bat of Georgia Tech that just sneaks down the line past Coffey. And it looked like her glove was right there, actually hit off of her glove.
Ball had some weird topspin to it, the way it was chopped. Mallory Black blasted a solo homer last time up. She's a triple shy of the cycle here. She is at the plate with her team down to their last out, down 8.
You said she might get up again.
Said they needed a couple base runners, and they've done just that.
Do you think she realizes it, that she's a triple away?
Yes.
You do?
I do.
I would love to know and like find out if she knew in this at bat.
That's the hard one to get, though.
Yeah.
Triple. That's by far the hard one of the combination.
I will say, though, down the line has some area, especially down the left field line, where the ball, now that's not ideal, you know, for a triple down the left field line, but could cause some havoc down there.
There can be havoc in foul territory down these lines. She's going to settle for an RBI single. So she does have a 4-hit game. 4 for 4 day for Mallory Black. Gets her second RBI. It's 12-5.
I wonder if one of these days we'll get a pitcher's duel here on this field.
We can dream. We can dream. We can dream.
Batting number 20, Dominique.
Tiffany Dominique, who came in the 6th as a pinch hitter and doubled. It's a second at bat. Jumping on the first pitch, fouls it back. Dominique sends one to center field. That's deep and goodbye. Three-run blast. Well, she got into this game late, but has made a huge impact. Tiffany Dominique.
was a part of the scoring in the 6th to keep the game going. And then also now this swing. I mean, that pitch is left elevated out over the plate, and Dominique does not miss. Love her to at bats. Did not start this game. Pinch hit with a double, and then now a 3-run bomb. Don't look now, the score is 12-8.
And Sydney Berzon has gotten up in the bullpen. LSU trying to get this final out. Nice strike.
Hits for Georgia Tech in this game, 13 against Stanford, and I mean, they're going to score at least 15 runs today in 2 games.
Boy, Abby Hughes just turned on that one. First second at bat of the game after coming as a pinch hitter in the 6th. So the first game on this field was 12-10. Kentucky won that game in North Carolina. And now it's a 12-8 game, LSU and Georgia Tech. Tech not going away, trying to keep it alive down to their last strike, and that's going to continue with another base hit. Base hit, Abby Hughes. That is 4 consecutive hits. And Beth Torina trying to get Ray Chafin through this game. He's just reached the limit. That's 140 pitches. So Berzon races down to come in, and LSU, I'm sure, was hoping it would not come to this, but they have to go to Berzon here to try to close it out. So Tech hanging in. We'll take a quick timeout. Georgia Tech has scored 4 runs. Taking Chafin out of the game and bringing in Berzon.
I will say these 2 ACC teams giving the SEC teams some fits on Field 9 today. Having to bring in Berzon, Kentucky having to bring in Schoonover against UNC. I think both of those were moves that the head coaches were not expecting to do in the games that were played today, but ACC is showing some fight today on ACC Network.
Or indeed, as Reese Hunter trying to keep it going. 4 straight have reached with 2 outs. All 4 runs in this inning have scored with 2 down. Tech down to their last strike again. They have been in this predicament a handful of times here in this inning. That's to left field. Newland back, gets to the spot and makes the catch. Berzon comes in. Needs a handful of pitches to close it out, and LSU wins it over Georgia Tech 12-8.